Just joining us, this is Blast Urban 98.3, your generational radio, and it's a beautiful Monday morning. It's the 16th day of March 2026. As the blast rises, and on Mondays by this time, we have our business conversation with Ambassador Dr. Adeyemi. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. It's good to be here. It's good to be here this Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, while we're coming in, it was already looking like it's going to rain. I'm like,
yeah.
What kind of rain is that? Monday rain.
I think we should be thankful because it's been hot, and then it rained on Saturday or Friday? And
Friday.
Friday. Everywhere was
Friday.
very
It was
cool.
Yeah.
You know, it was a difference from the weather that we usually have. So it should rain.
It should rain.
But when I'm at home already.
They were at home already. Well, not in every workplace. There are several things that go on in a lot of workplaces. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of tough calls for managers to always have to make in a work environment. And two things that managers would always have to do is they need to invest in their staff. And another thing that they always have to do is to let go of them. It's a difficult thing to do. We live in a culture where we don't talk about this enough, but there's a real conversation about workplace culture and management that we need to talk about this morning. Now, we're talking about train of fire, tough workplaces decisions every boss must make. So we have a list of questions. We're going to run them with you, and you're going to tell us if you're in a position as an employer, as a talent person, would you fire or train? But I want to talk about the invest in training, which is one thing that we see lacking in our world today. On the weekend, I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about what is our institutions doing, and even some of the big conglomerate, none of them are investing in research, in training. You know, they were talking about, why would somebody graduate from mass comm? What is graduates from mass communication doing today to help those in the industry to do research that, this is the future? One of the biggest radio stations in the world, iHeartRadio, they have the data that 8 in 10 Americans are listening to them. They just launched what they call a TikTok radio. Crazy idea. So for TikTokers who have great content, they have created an arm of their station for TikTokers on the radio.
That's excellent.
That's a brilliant idea. And that's because they are moving with the time. They are spending money on research and investing in training. This is no longer a conversation that we're having today on how we're no longer training people. And that is something that we need to change in our work environment. But what do you think about training?
Well, I think it's an important part of I think training is an important part of every organization. I mean, you see, I always say it every time I come here that, you see, what is obtainable in our terrain here is a lot different from what is obtainable out there. I mean, ideally, every business or every company should not play with training. We shouldn't joke with it. And, I was even saying it to my guys last week in the office that we need to run some in-house trainings for some of my own staff because it's important. Things are changing. The way work is done changes for every industry. So if you are not actively keeping your people updated on industry standards, the latest industry standard, in fact, every organization should think about training. We are in a radio station, for example. You should be able to know what are the new standards or the new way that things are being done right here, and that should happen in-house. That should happen in-house, and that's why you see people where if I pay money to go and train myself, if the company does not sponsor it, I pay money to train myself. If I get a better job, I'm leaving.
Sharp.
Do you understand? Because I paid for my training.
Yes.
I paid to get to the point I'm getting to. So I won't want to stay in the same organization and use what I've learned, the new things I've learned in that same organization when they did not contribute towards me getting to that point.
I want to counter that a bit because
How?
I'm thinking of it as I personally, I've spent money on training. I take time to invest in training for myself, and because I think that training is very important. But if you find yourself in an organization where they don't see training as important, when I learn those skills, are you saying that I should not use those skills that I have just learned, the new things I have learned in my current workplace because they did not invest in that training?
The thing is, you know the worth of that training to you.
Yes.
You know what it has cost you. You know, I mean, aside from the money you paid, you know how much you invested into getting that skill.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if I get an added skill, it's either the company notices it and they are able to upgrade me based on that added skill, or I find another place that knows the worth of the added skill.
Yeah.
It's just like a husband and wife relationship.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can if you don't pay attention, if you're not a spouse that pays attention to your spouse, you might not be able to know that she's changing. Oh, something is different about her, and you can take it for granted. It's finished. And that can happen in the workplace.
Also, companies can
see you can see you finish. And like, okay, you added one new skill. Yeah, so okay, like, but why? And you yourself know that this added skill that I just got, if I were to be outside, there are a lot of people that are getting paid more for that skill. So you expect where you work that they are able to see,
recognize it.
Do you understand? They're able to recognize that skill and able to give you an upgrade on what you're being paid. Right? If they're not going to do that, you're not going to stay there for long, and you know that, hey,
you should apply for the next time.
I mean, you have a skill that is able to make you this amount of money, but you decide to stay here. And that's why every time I'm doing it personally, I see that my guys are improving. I'm speaking to them. I see that you're improving. I see that you've gotten so good. We talk about increasing their money. I don't have to wait for 1 year, 2 years. No. The moment I see that what they deliver, what they bring to us is much more.
Are you sure you're a Nigerian employer? At this point, we need to ask questions if you're a Nigerian employer.
This is how I think. Because I myself, I do a lot of investment in myself to become better. And when I do that, I increase my price, Daniel.
Oh,
yes. So when I increase my own price, I expect that my customers will be able to pay that price on the basis that this guy is good. Oh, this guy is gotten so great. When they pay me more, I should be able to, that more that I'm being paid, I should be able to also split it amongst the people that are also doing the work.
If they are also,
do you understand?
Yeah.
That's how it works. I saw a video from Ife, was it last week, where she was saying, you are an employer, you're not paying bonuses. Why won't you pay bonuses? And I thought about it. I was like, wow, okay, that's something that I also need to work on. And I looked at it. I said, okay, I think I'll speak with my guys. We'll have a meeting and they might be hearing now because they usually follow. I said, okay,
actually, I know a radio station that paid
we need to do some of these bonuses. Whether it's data bonus,
that paid bonus. They didn't even pay bonus. They paid profits something at the end of the year. Something
because if your company makes more, you should be able to pay bonuses to the people that were part of that thing. It's not only you.
This conversation that you're having, I think we're not the right people.
Interesting stuff. Really interesting. I think we're talking about training and we're talking about how in the civil service is quite different. Because before you get a promotion, that's right, a promotion exam. You know, there's a lot of check and balances when it comes to it, and it seems like there's a lot of protection for your career to advance forward when you work in the civil service, because that's what it's about. You have to, if you have like a particular degree, you have to do like another one or something. There are grants that they give you for you to go to school to like, let's say, advance. Maybe if you have like a particular degree, get another one or something. And we're talking about just how in the private industry, it's not something that is very much attainable, at least for everybody. So if we leave the conversation of training now and we're talking about firing people, it's a tough call to make, and sometimes you have a staff that is really great at their job, but there's just something, because like human beings cannot be perfect. There's just something about them that it frustrates you out of your life. You're like, oh my god. So one of it is late coming. So this person is very great at their job, but they never would come to work early. They would always be late to work. They would always be late. Your call time is 9 o'clock. They are coming by 10:30. And they always have excuses. Oh, my grandmother swallowed cutlass.
Let's not even take it too long. Fire the person straight.
Fire straight.
Somebody's even talented.
If the work that they do is excellent.
Fire them straight.
Wow.
So why would you fire an employee who is talented
but is always late
to work?
So the problem is that some of these things it affects the culture you're trying to build in a business. Right? And some of these things are contagious. The moment somebody keeps coming late and you keep letting it slide, because he's talented, you keep letting it slide, other people are watching, right? And before you know it, it becomes a norm in your business. It becomes a norm where
you fire everybody.
Well, you cannot, but you there are certain things that you only need to fire one person and every other person sits up.
But how long, how many times does the person have to come like late for it to be considered something that can put the business in jeopardy?
The right thing is to find out why. Why is that happening? Some people are probably going through something. They have something they're going through, and they don't want to say it or something. Sometimes Exactly. So you need to find out what is causing that, right? You need to find out like that. What's her name?
The Ella girl,
very dark lady.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, again, she has a company that understands her situation, and that's because she made it public.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I guess before she made it public, she might also have, you know, shared it with our boss that oh, this is what is happening. You know, I before I get a boss, I wake up early. That kind of person, you understand the circumstance around that. So and I'm wondering how it got that far before the company decided to pay her, like give her transport allowance.
It went public, so
I guess because it went public, and now the agency is now using it to get their own spotlight. I like what they're doing, but again, if you look at it, did they have to go viral before they now? She's been working there for a while now, so they've been seeing her late. Why didn't they probably give the option of, oh, let's pay your transport allowance and we get you Uber that will be bringing you to work? But now they paid. In fact, they paid for a whole year ahead. Do you understand? So again, it is what it is. Find out why the person is coming late. If it's a reason that you know that okay,
that's justifiable.
Exactly, we can still find a way around it. And you know, of course, another thing that I always like to do also is to keep every other person in the know. If I'm giving a what's the word now?
Grace or privilege.
To somebody, I think every other person that works with us needs to know that okay, this person lives around here. These are the reasons why so that you're not just seeing the person coming late. Like why is it that I'm getting a query for coming late and then this person is do you understand? So some of those things need to be communicated.
I think even some companies in Lagos now are, you know, buying properties and then using it for their staff. Where they you know what, they could. One of my first jobs in Lagos, the company had a 3-bedroom apartment, and you know, but it was specifically for those who did either the morning shift or the late night shift. So for those who did the morning shift, you were a resident. For those who did the late night shift, you were not resident, but you have to leave the premises at every weekend if you did a late night shift. But for morning shift, you're a resident at the building, so you had like a room to yourself, and you could take care of yourself so you don't have to say you are late to work, because the station started as early as 5:30 a.m. in the morning, right? So and they need you to be, and the office was a trek of distance of 5 minutes to the office, and they cover that rent, so that saves you time. So on the weekend I can go home, be back Sunday, and then know that I'm at work Monday to Friday in a comfortable apartment, right? So there's that. Next, these ones are on the work ethics and productivity side. A worker who meets deadlines but has a bad attitude with colleagues. Do you fire or do you train? A worker who meets deadlines but has a bad attitude with colleagues.
Again, it's a tough one. Because they meet deadlines.
They don't come late. They do the work that they need to do, but they are just very nasty.
I think again, it's just down to culture, work culture, work ethic.
I would fire though.
I think I also fire, and that's because bad energy can affect a lot of things.
Yeah, like everybody that they work with is like this person is difficult. They put them in a team. They want to do everything by themselves. It might also affect
the output. Their output.
Actually, so I think that people with this kind of things, I have seen how. I think it can be trainable, but it takes a leader who is not enabling. Because there's some leaders, there's some employers that are enabling that bad attitude.
I don't think that's.
But somebody that's badly behaved,
trainable. I don't think it's trainable.
Somebody that is badly behaved. It's a personal thing, because it's not like it's a business.
It's not a skill that it's something that you didn't learn maybe while growing up, or you didn't, or your personality didn't, So I think it's that person.
I'm also not sure about it being trainable, because I mean it's the person's personal bad behavior.
Or maybe you can maybe therapy.
I want to go there. Employer pay for their therapy.
Don't go and therapy. It's not they fire you. Don't go and but this one is very close. It's about what about the person now that has the good energy, but it's not so productive. Like every time they come in the workplace, everybody lights up. They make everywhere very safe, very relaxing. Everybody does their job easily around them, but they themselves, they are not very productive.
I'll train because you see that's one of the things that we need to understand in the business world, that you see when you find people that are, first of all, they have good character. They, even though they're not so good at what they are supposed to do, you can always fix them around. For example, I think I heard Naja Branchik say this a few months back, that she had this lady that was hired for a particular position, said is good. like great character, lovely person, everybody likes her.
Yeah.
But she wasn't able to do that work that they employed her for. But she realized that, wait, I can't lose this person. This person has a great character. This person is good. But she's not doing what we are paying her for. So they had to look around the business and see, oh, they noticed that she's actually good at something.
Some other thing.
So they now fixed her into that particular position. I think it was probably something, maybe like a storekeeper operation or something that they knew that she was good with keeping things, sorting out things. So they gave her that role. There are people that will work with you that you have to create the role for them. You create the role around what they are good at because you don't want to lose that person's personality. It's hard to find people that have character.
You see?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
It's not me. I have great character. I don't
No,
well,
Islamia has great character.
Did you hear that?
She's got great character.
Well, you can be part of this conversation this morning. You can send us a text or a WhatsApp message. WhatsApp messages preferably. You can also send voice notes if you agree or disagree with the conversations on either we are letting go, we are training this morning on some of the things that we're talking about. 081 11 83 1983. 081 11 83 1983. And we're looking at the situation of our workplaces, our workforce. When do you train and when do you fire? Now, for an employer who works hard but constantly makes avoidable mistakes, do you train or do you fire?
It depends. It depends on how. So we start with training first.
Okay.
Because, I mean, nobody's above mistakes. Sometimes it just takes a bit of structure. And again, as a business, if you have the right structure, I don't think you have people making mistakes because you have the right structure. So what I'll do there is most likely to train. But again, after training, if I see that the mistake is starting to cost us, I mean, for example, we hired somebody newly, and while we were trying to do a particular job for a client, he added. So we do a lot of ads, running ads for companies and all that. So he made a mistake of adding money on another client's account. So we're supposed to fund the client's account with, I think, about 100,000. And this was really pretty much new, and then he made the mistake of adding the money on another client's account. So we had to, and that client's account, it's not something we can withdraw. So that 100K was gone. But that was a mistake, right? That was a mistake because it's just starting out and all that. So, but I had to bear the cost and say, okay, no problem. Take another money, add it into the right account, and that was it. Of course, I didn't just do that. I didn't just smile and pat his back like, oh, of course I shouted. Of course I shouted. Of course, I was angry because you made me just lose 100,000. But I was able to correct the person, and since then we've not had that issue again. So sometimes some mistakes can just with a simple correction, person can adjust. But if you see that person making the same mistake over and over again after you're trained, then obviously
I think in some situations systems can also help. Where there are like systems that help you to organize, like, oh, this is your final checklist before you go ahead to submit or to bring anything to me. If you can go through this checklist, no matter how much avoidable mistakes, it will now tell me whether you are very absent-minded or maybe you are intoxicated. Just to know, some people might be very great at, they might be hardworking, but they might have a bad alcohol use. They might be on drugs, and that might just affect them in a way that they make very silly mistakes here and there. It might also be a situation of, okay, do you have ADHD? What's going on with you?
Are you neurodivergent?
Are you neurodivergent? That's the workforce we're in.
Now, you talked about the change that is happening in the workforce and how we have to move with the times. But then you see in some organizations, for example, if you go to some ministries, even now, and how they're trying to like digitalize everything, but you still see that you still have to submit paper, put pen to paper in some certain cases, because there are some people that are like, that's how I've been doing it for the longest time. So if you have a worker, does great work, but they don't want to change to like learn new tools, learn new technology. They're like, oh, what is AI? I'm a big. I can do this thing by myself. Yada, that kind of thing. So there are new things that are happening, new ways in which, you could do the work that you do, but they don't want to. They do great work, but they're just like, nah, I'm not using AI.
The new tools
I don't want to, because the way that I've been doing it before, there's nothing wrong with it. So let's just continue like that. Do you let go of them?
I think that's also a very dicey one. And what makes it dicey is because it depends on the workplace. It depends on
the kind of work,
what they prioritize. For example, in our type of business, we prioritize tools. We prioritize because these tools help us do work fast. For example, you can't work with me and not like ChatGPT. You cannot work with me and you don't like ChatGPT or you don't like using AI. Because we use a lot of AI. We use a lot of AI to prepare reports. We use a lot of AI to do research. We use a lot of AI to sometimes get ideation, so, and we sometimes also use a lot of AI for content creation. So you cannot want to work with us and your use of AI is poor. That's a criteria for us. Yeah. So that kind of person, of course, I'm firing. That kind of person for our own type of business. So it depends on how the business is set up. For some type of business, for example, if the person is in a role of maybe finance, of course you can depend on tools and all those things. But you still need somebody who likes to write money down, have a book. You still need that. In finance, you still need that. So it depends on what kind of department we're talking about. But there's certain departments that you can't say you're anti skill learning other tools or you're anti AI. You cannot. So I think that would depend. But for me, for my type of business, I'll most likely fire that kind of person. Because
I think that like you said, it can be quite dicey depending on the situation. I've seen situations where you need somebody who has the very traditional knowledge, and you need them to be around with the people who understand the new technology. Because the traditional knowledge sometimes are the foundation for the new technology, and a lot of people don't even understand traditional things. Turn out of the new technology.
That's true, actually.
For example, like the media that we're in today now, there's a lot happening with artificial intelligence, and we're growing and evolving. But there's also the part where I think that there's a lot of groundwork that people do not know, and you need some of these veterans who are not skilled in the new technology to be around to oversee some of the works, and correct them, even though they are not familiar with the new technology. We got a message.
We got a message from Dimeji from Okebola. Says, my opinion is, why can't we speak on toxic companies that make employees resign, causing them to be jobless for months and years? Because I've worked in a company like that before, and I managed to work for 8 years and I left. Every customer I attended to back then at my former job complains of the management, and they witnessed that too. But I had to manage and work with them for 8 months before leaving.
8 months or 8 years?
8 months. Okay. And I have witnessed a lot of staff resignation from work a couple of times. What's experience I had in my life working with that company is that they pay salary in cash. Who does that?
Pay salary in cash.
They have They have troubles with the bank. They probably have a case. Any organization you see who is very big on cash, they have a case to answer either with the EFCC or with money laundering. Most likely that's what is happening. Is definitely there, and they might be avoiding tax. That's another reason why they'll pay in cash. They'll pay in cash if they're avoiding tax, or if they have a case with the EFCC, or they have one of their accounts being frozen for an allegation of money laundering.
We're still gonna get to the organization. I think we call out organizations.
We do call out organizations.
We do.
I mean, we talked about training this morning and how organizations need to invest in that. That's a way of also calling out organizations. We got another text from SB from Odono Kekere. Says, good morning to the Blast Rice crew. This table is very hot. You have not even gone further, and I already have a take. Please share your take with us. Share your take with us, SB, this morning. We would like to hear it.
All right. Let's we have
okay. Yeah.
Now let's move to communication and professionalism. These are things around this that might require a staff to be trained or fired. A staff member who ignores emails and messages from their boss.
Okay.
Fire now. What are you waiting for?
It depends.
But like those,
it depends.
I don't want. Okay.
Why would you ignore?
No, like on weekends, for example.
Leave weekend. even weekends. Why shouldn't you respond to your email?
But like the week, I don't work on weekends.
So again,
I don't work on weekends. I don't want you to send me messages outside of my working hours.
Somebody said something on Twitter the other day that they were at a meeting and they just hired a Gen Z. And then while during orientation, they told this Gen Z employee that, on some days you are going to be required to work overtime. And the Gen Z asked, is it paid or we are demanded to? And everybody went quiet because they don't pay overtime. I remember working in one of the first organizations I worked in Lagos. They weren't willing to pay overtime, and I said I wasn't going to do the work unless I was paid overtime.
How many businesses pay overtime?
Yeah, but why shouldn't you pay overtime?
I see, like I said,
if I'm filling it for somebody that is not available, that you can employ.
There are a lot of things that we're trying to change in the workspace. A lot of things that we're trying to change, and while that is happening, we need to understand that the change is not going to happen suddenly. Some companies will spearhead that change, and this is where the big companies come in. They need to. And you see, I won't blame small businesses might not be able to afford certain things.
Yes.
For example, a small business might not be able to afford to pay you over time, right? A business that is under 50 million a year, I don't think they might be able to afford to pay you over time.
Outside they can.
It depends.
Under 50 million. If it's okay, under 50 million, yes.
50 million.
Let's say between 25 to 50 million, you can pay. You can pay over time. You make 25.
Or even though, if you know that
million
you can't,
in a year,
there's a way.
How many staffs do they have? That's the question.
Most times, if you are running a company that is under 50 million a year, you probably wouldn't have more than 10 staff.
So 10 staffs paying overtime to 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
And depends.
But not all of them.
In a month, let's say they pay all of them 100k in a
Plus,
month.
like if you're also asking someone to do
let's say
overtime.
salary in a year for 10 staff, 100k a month, that's 1 million. In a year, that's 12 million.
So 12 million out of 20, that's already salary has already taken like half of.
I think at the end of the day, the conversation of overtime
million and above.
Okay, so maybe the conversation of overtime is a situation where there's an abuse of it. There is a lacuna of a staff that is unavailable, or that you can. There's a role that's supposed to be filled. Because I remember specifically for me at the time, they had not found a presenter to hire for a particular belt, and there was a program that could not fill because it was sponsored at the time. And I was like, you want me to come and do it without pay? And you are coming to me, Daniel, please, there's nobody to do. No, I'm going to charge you. I calculated my salary per hour. And I said, for this time of the hours I have to show up for this program, this is the number of hours I have to put in for that program. So this is what my pay broken down to an hour is. And this is what you have to pay me every time.
I think that's justifiable.
So in this conversion of overtime, it depends on its attitude. You say sometimes that you walk into your office building, you buy food for your staff.
Yeah.
It's not
what you said about the attitude is very important, because some people, they demand for you to do overtime. It's not like you can see, you can, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're paying, but sometimes at least let your workers know that the work that they do is not going unnoticed. But some people make the workers feel like if you don't do that overtime, you're not the serious person, and the person is not getting anything. The person also has to use their own, personal time for whatever.
This is number 7.
Okay.
But I want to get your take.
Okay, number 7 and number 8 is very tied together. It's about like an employee that argues with management publicly, and also a worker that talks badly about the company on social media.
Oh no, those are two different.
But like you said
about the company on social media, fire.
Okay.
But number 7,
the one that
an employer who argues with management publicly.
Fire, no. Fire. You argue with management publicly.
So if they insult me, what should I do? I should sit down there and look?
No, you see. I think, and this is for me. I'm big on respecting management. Even if you feel like management is wrong or they did you wrong, I don't think publicly is where it should come.
If they do it publicly, why can't I do it publicly?
Management has office now.
But like if the management did not do
but if the management embarrasses me publicly, shouldn't I embarrass them?
I don't think two wrongs to make it right there.
That would be wrong.
For me, I don't.
Why are you doing that?
So this is the thing.
Okay.
They didn't say, the question did not say whether the management abused publicly. But you can argue with management publicly. Maybe management is saying they're bringing up new ideas or something new, and then you're countering it that no, I don't think this is going to work. Oh, why are we doing this? No, this is not what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And publicly can be. I think publicly also would be in bracket, because I've seen situations where I sat on a board before where in a management meeting, a staff had raised the concern. And the owner of the organization did not like that the staff raised that concern in a meeting.
Yes.
I'm like, why?
No.
If it's
a meeting and it's about the work,
it's not a public gathering. Because that can be regarded as public.
Yeah.
So a boss might frown at the fact that I raised the concern of salary increase at a meeting.
Because you see, I understand. For every leader, you don't want. It's just like what is happening in government. For every leader, you don't want somebody, one of your followers, to stand up. It's just like a coup.
Hey,
you don't want one of your staff to stand up.
That is always
it's wrong.
That is always the reaction.
I've not been an employer before.
It is in the meeting. Where else would you bring it up?
The same thing that happens in government. That's why you see where you see the president will say that this particular governor, I think it was Fubara that something like that happened. That. So it's, you don't want anybody from your in quotes, your government, your stand up against,
even when you are wrong.
Now, that is there's a system to it, and the system is speak to me first about it. Raise the concern personally.
But what if you have raised the
when you have now raised it and it seems like I'm not listening to it, then it's fine. Because you are right that I already raised it to you privately, but it looks like you're not doing anything about it, so I can raise it.
So I have, in one of the previous places I have worked, I have been queried for raising a concern in a WhatsApp group, and that was because the owner of the organization was in the WhatsApp group. Because I'm like, it's a staff WhatsApp group.
Yeah, there's also that. There's also that.
Something that is not working in a staff. They're like, oh, I should have brought it to the HR. But I'm like, no, it's a staff WhatsApp group. I'm not the only one experiencing it.
Every organization has what is called an organogram. So on the organogram, there are hierarchies, right? So you don't jump somebody to speak to. No. See, if you're a staff and they have an HR, when there is an issue, your complaint should go to your HR.
That's a silent
culture. It should go to your HR.
First of the HRs are designed to protect the organization over this.
It's just like when you have an issue with in your local government area, and then you're not calling out your councillor, you are calling out the president.
Because
the president can handle it. Yes, we know. But the right thing is that let's call out the people that we've elected as councillors, as local government chairmen. These are the people that they should be able to now call out.
I think that one of the things that is happening with our workforces today is that people don't want to be held accountable. People don't like it when their office is challenged. Yeah, right. People don't like it when their office is challenged, and it doesn't mean that it is wrong. But we have a system that wants to oppress people. Right?
It's all in the system anyway.
It's a system problem, and we need to begin to talk about these things. I have seen situations where somebody just feels like you have insulted them for speaking about an ill that is happening in a work environment.
I wonder why that is. Because you're just trying to say this is what is happening.
I need to express myself, and I don't want to go and meet the boss directly and tell him, but I want to say it in the group so that he knows that he's pinching everybody.
And you know that sometimes it's what everybody else can relate.
Everybody can relate.
Somebody has to bring it up. Somebody has to bring it up.
There's a reason why every other person is quiet about it.
Because of the poverty.
And sometimes it's because of the fact that when you talk about it, there's nothing that changes. But when it's publicly, you are able to bring attention to it. So it's not, So when
what happened in this place, I just shared the example quickly. At the time, there was a flu going around in the office. I waited the first week, you didn't say anything. I waited the second week, I'm not going to do your job for you. And I was like, you see that everybody's coming down with a flu in the office environment. What are you supposed to do? At least get somebody to re-clean the office and fumigate the office. And I'm like, you're not doing your job. I'm not going to come to your office and come and tell you, and then you take all the glory. So I went on the group and I said, there is a flu going on in this office. Has anybody noticed? The HR was mad at me for saying that in the group. So like, oh, I should have come to her to say that. I'm like, no, are you telling me you do not notice? So I was like, and I said, oh, there's a flu going around in the office. Please work to strengthen your body immune system. Get vitamin C for yourself and wear nose masks. I got a query in one of my previous places of work for that.
See, I think this thing is. I think it depends. It depends, and that's because you're looking at it from the side of the employee. If you look at it from the side of the employer, it's almost like you don't want to encourage a coup. It's also down to culture.
It's also
I think it will also be
caring for the employee.
I think it might also be down to like the person that is making the
complaint. There's a way you are thinking about it that I am not thinking about.
But like this is how we can think about it because we're the employees. We're employees.
I've never had the opportunity to be an employee, but I've had. I mean, let's not even say that. I've had the opportunity to be an employee because I have clients I work for, right? So they employ me to work for them technically. So, but there are certain things that is happening in their business that I would not call out somebody. I will not just say it. Yeah. Right. But I will just speak to the person directly about it. That okay, I think I'm noticing this in your business. So can you? I won't just call them out. I'll just go on Instagram and just say, hey, this client, I work with this selling client. Oh, they have the way they behave. It will be wrong for me to do that, even though I'm on their payroll. They pay me. So, but I can speak to the owner, or I can speak to somebody there. Oh, there's something happening. I think it's just how it is done. I always believe that there's nothing that cannot be said. It is how you say it. So for me, I might not necessarily fire that person. Thinking about it again, I might not necessarily fire that person because of that. But I just want to let the person know. No, they don't do things like that. Like just next time, speak with somebody around first. If it's not attended to, then you can raise.
There's somebody who sits with me, but I don't talk to anymore, and I would never speak to this person. I literally, the word hate is a strong word, and I hate this person because of his manner of approach. He doesn't like to be corrected. He's very stubborn-headed, and I'm like, I can't work with you. I can't talk to you anymore.
So I think that also for like employers, when employees are bringing attention to something, they're not trying to like take your workplace from you or start a quote, whatever. It's just these are the things that will make work the workplace better, the work easier. If the work is not easy, what's not the essence? So you're the owner of the business at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I'll get, you know what you probably say, Ogata, be Ogata, or something.
I'll get my salary.
No,
if they're bringing it,
about that mentality.
No, but like if they're bringing, I'm just saying, like in this case, if I'm bringing something to your attention, that is going to make the workplace a better place, but you're not doing anything about it. It will get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do whatever I can. At least I'll get paid. We have a voice note here. Let's take a listen to it.
Good morning, boss. Good morning. Okay, my contribution on this, my name is Kevin. Okay, my contribution on this, what's it called? First thing for they ask me to blog somebody. And very careful, because what will happen if the employee has something to do and needs to take permission not to come to work, maybe due to family emergencies or anything outside that is going to take out of the official time. Are you saying the company should not pay the employee's salary? Because if the employee is always asking for more anytime he or she is doing something extra for the company, you understand? So what if the employee now needs the company's permission to go and sort out some things? So are you saying the what's it called? The employer should calculate and deduct from the employee's salary? Do you understand my point? Thank you. Nice job, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I get your point too. I get your point. Kenny, hear me. President Kenny, hear me very well. Right? I understand where you're coming from as an employer. When you say an employee needs to, it's a thing when it's a pattern for an employer to say always work overtime.
Okay.
If it's one-off, if it happens once in a while, even you as an employer, as an employee, you know that, I need to step up for my organization. They're always there for me.
Yeah.
Right? There's also why it is mandated based on the Nigerian law that your staff is allocated minimum of 21 days working leave and 5 days leave. Even though now we are not talking about it here too. Nigerian employers have shrunk everything into 21 days, both your sick leave and your leave. They tell you that you can't take more than 21 days in a year, both for sick leave and everything, right? That's what they are doing now. Nobody's talking about the fact that if you've worked in an organization over 5 years, you're entitled to 5 days leave after 5 years of working in an organization. It's in the law. It's in the Nigerian labor law. It's there. Let's begin to look at this thing. So if it's not a pattern of you always asking your staff to work overtime, if it's also not a pattern for the staff to always say, I'm always taking it. I have a family emergency. You're having family emergency every 2 weeks. I will let you go. I think I can fire you if I see that my business is not a priority for you as much as you expect the salary to be a priority for me.
Yeah. I think the thing is, see, the way we employers think is slightly different from the way the employees will see things. Because it's you that at the end of the month, the money is coming out to pay salaries. And this is the thing. I always believe in treating people well as a foundation to anything in life. If you treat people well, you see all this talk of overtime, this, overtime, that.
It won't come up.
It won't come up at all. Because the person will gladly want to even do overtime. Because of how they are.
If there's a system that works.
Your employee is having birthday. Sorting of 20,000, 25,000 naira cake.
It's too much.
15,000 naira cake.
8 inches.
They are doing better cake. 7,500, 8,000.
So there are certain things.
Even if it's not that, maybe like an allowance, like.
And you see, this thing boils down to, it's not about company making 50 million or 100 million. This thing just boils down to being a good person. Just if you are a good person, you will see some things and it's what we do. There's nobody that celebrates birthday in my company that we don't buy. If we don't buy cake, I'm transferring money to that person. It's simple, and that's because I'm first of all a good person to think about. Oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. We know it's not that because it's your birthday. Come and celebrate it for us. But I'm not expecting. I have guys that do that. They celebrate it for us. One of our guys recently did that. He gave everybody in the office something. I'm like, oh, that's good. But we did something. And there are a lot of other things like that too.
We have another text. It says, due to time and fear of Mr. Daniel cutting off my message, because it might be long. But it says that I just want to use this to say to you that you guys are doing a great job. This program and the therapy one tomorrow morning, I don't miss it for a thing. And I recommend it personally too. Anyone who knows what they are doing will not only listen, but put them to practice, because it's helping me in my business a lot, especially with the apprentice I signed 2 months ago. Kudos to you guys, and thanks to the management of BizLift for giving back.
Thank you.
I like the way you said I signed an apprentice.
You put contract down. Nobody has to tell you now, because in today's working environment, the working conditions are changing. The Nigerian HR system is one I always have beef with all the time, because I don't see them working systems specifically for industries.
What I even have issues with now, I think I'm trying to notice, is how HRs seem to be more on the management side than on the staff side.
That's the rule.
It's not giving human relation anymore.
I don't think the training. The goal of the HR is to protect the
it's not. There's no more. I think it's not more of that anymore.
Yeah, no, that's the system for the. If you're an HR personnel, please do it to verify this.
Maybe you can help us.
They will now
verify this information. When you look at situations, if
then why is it human resource? It's not company resource management now.
Oh,
why
no.
Human?
Because the HR is also collecting salary. It's not a contract. So you protect the organization first. If something is wrong, you look at how do you protect the organization.
Because again, I look at it when you're not looking after the welfare of the staff as HR. That one is not your priority. You are trying to make sure the company is not spending so much money. They're trying to
that's it. Because they're looking for you do one thing one time, you do it about 2-3 times. They're helping the company.
I'm even concerned about the systems. Systems are not designed for individual industries. I've always said that I want radio presenters or people who have worked in radio to go and take HR courses, because I think that you better handle the system. Be better for the system than somebody who is not.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody I sat with an HR like a few years ago, and they were like, why would you do your belt and be going home? Why are you not staying till 4 p.m.? I was like,
to do what?
I was like, wait, what do you do?
How?
You should be hanging around the office.
I do what?
What does that? So
it's because they're done with your working hours.
The system, the learning, the model that is being taught to the HRs in themselves are not designed for. They're not industry driven. The industry we are in is different from the food industry. The HR in a supermarket is going to be different from the HR in a radio. It's going to be different from your company that is a tech company where people can work from wherever they are in the world. You know, so it's about the systems are not designed uniquely for the industries that they are in.
It's just like a general thing, and it doesn't work for everybody.
It's not a one size fit all. We got more this morning.
There's more, but okay. Quickly, because time. We continue the conversation next week.
I think we should take it up next. Should we take it up next week?
We'll see if we can.
We'll see if we can. Because there's modern work issues. There's work habits.
Yeah, there's modern workplace issues. Yeah.
We probably
there's workplace culture.
Yeah.
So we'll probably look at it next.
But let's just do one more before we go. A worker who refuses to collaborate with teammates. Do you train or do you fire?
I think I'll train, and that's because and the reason is because sometimes some of those things, it depends on their previous work experience. There are people that they may be working solo for the longest. So when they get into a space where they have to collaborate with other people, sometimes they struggle with it. So I think I'll train on how to make it easy, and that's one of the things that we have been able to do. Like we make work so easy that you're not the only one doing whatever task you're doing. So what you're doing, somebody else needs the output of what you're doing to do their own work, like that. So we make it like a chain. So because of that, you're reliant on, for example, if our graphic designer is going to work, she needs pictures from the media guys. So the media guys have to go and take pictures. Our content managers, if they need a particular content, they need the media guy to shoot for them, right? So they're all dependent in each other. There's no work or task you have that you don't have to collaborate. You can build your system like that, so that such that there won't be any way that you can't be working in an organization and you for like 1 month you have to work with somebody. You're just alone. No. I don't think it's the best. So structure the business in a way that you need something, you must speak with somebody to get something, and that way you're building that that collaborative spirit with other people you work with. It's something that you need to like build a system around, or also train people to.
We want to say thank you so much for today. It's been a full Monday morning and heated one at that. I like at this point,
the conversation.
My belly. Let's give me ginger.
Now, you like anything that has to do with trouble with me.
I'm there, like 100. 100.
I hope you're not seeing work at the filling station.
I don't see work for first.
That's even the worst.
I like 100.
That's one of the
That's
worst.
worst places because
we're talking about welfare.
Managers. Those were welfare.
That's because that welfare. So that's the most important thing. That's because
But anyway, thank you so much, Ambassador Dr. Adeyemi, CEO of BizLift Consult. Remember, for all your marketing, digital marketing, advertising needs, BizLift is your one-stop shop. Right now, the training is still on. I think it's ending next month.
Yes, next month the training will end. Another quarter is going to be starting in May. So we're preparing towards the
next quarter. All right, we'll probably talk before the quarter is over. You said we're going to bring one or two representatives.
Yeah, we'll bring some people to come and just say their experience.
That's lovely. Remember at BizLift on Instagram, BIZLIFT on Instagram, and you can check out their page and see the work that they do. You can also go to at BizLift on YouTube.
Yeah, right. BizLift NG.
BizLift NG on YouTube to find today's conversation there. Good morning to you.